Okay, so the tool I will be reviewing today is called Spotify for Podcasters. I have an account. I've used it in the past. I really enjoy it. It's a yeah, it's just like a cool, I think it's like the easiest way to make a podcast. I think it's very fit for a classroom. So Spotify for Podcasters is free to use and can be accessed on phones, tablets, computers, laptops, smart TVs, anywhere that can have Spotify basically. Students' voices can be heard around the world and vice versa. I teach a class that focuses a lot on like global connectedness and Spotify. My students are probably a little too young to use this, but yeah. So getting started. So simply upload an audio file or hit the record button, and Spotify will provide helpful instructions to ensure that your episode is posted and available for all or a select few to hear or view. Like you can make it private, you can make it for just the teacher. It's really flexible. So like right here you would click new episode and then you can drag your file. You can right here you can create with Riverside, so that's where you would just essentially record it right on their mic. It's pretty simple and they provide really helpful instructions along the way. So in a learning setting, I think it's perfect for group work. Especially like if you wanted to keep it as an in-class project, which I know we like to do a lot. Students can start and stop the recording at any time. If a member of their group is absent, they can continue recording, and when the student returns, they can edit their part back in to where it needs to be. Like maybe it was in the beginning or the middle. It's really flexible like that. It's really great for creativity. There are options to add sound effects, and students can find random creative ways to express themselves. Like when I used this in the past, I once played three different characters on the same podcast, and it was like a cool way to express myself in a new way. A great way for students to show what they know about a subject or topic that goes beyond the constraints of writing. Tons of room for creative expression. Could be an excellent form of assessment for students who struggle with traditional assessments or writing assignments. So it's great for differentiation, really. So in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, it's so hard to choose just one. I think if I had to choose just one, I would choose create, a higher order thinking skill. Like using Spotify for podcasters, students can create their podcast as a form of expression or to demonstrate their understanding of a topic. They can research, script, record, and edit podcasts on various educational subjects, thereby demonstrating synthesis and creativity. I truly believe that this is the best category, but also analyzing, right? Students can analyze the contents of classmates' podcasts, critically evaluating arguments, identifying patterns, comparing different perspectives. That's something we do a lot in my class. They can also analyze just the effectiveness of a podcast and maybe some peer reviews, something like that. Also, there's some lower order thinking skills, right? Remembering, if you wanted to use it just to remember and recall information, like a teacher could create a podcast and they could use it as some sort of study tool, something like that. Understanding, by engaging with various podcasts on the platform already, they can comprehend content, understand main ideas, interpret information, etc. Really a very many uses for this tool. Absolutely. You can also monetize if you wanted to go that route. I never would. I've just used it for school purposes. Can like go back and edit your episodes and change things. You can see analytics. It's very cool. The SAMR cycle. So, in terms of substitution, the use of Spotify for podcasters has the ability to facilitate differentiated instruction in the classroom. Students could have the option of writing and submitting a script, or they could record a podcast. I think like that's a great way of facilitating differentiated instruction. Just giving that option doesn't create too much additional work for the teacher at all, really. Augmentation, this use of technology offers functional improvement because students are able to express themselves using a method that is distinct from writing assignments. Like how I said before about I played three different characters in the same podcast episode. It allows students to do something that simply is not uh it's distinct from writing. It's like a new way of assessing students. Modification, this website allows teachers and students to play the content at home or at school on any number of devices with ease. It also allows the teachers to create a podcast and embed little check-ins or like quiz questions throughout the episode. So I could assign like a 15-minute podcast of Mr. Prieto talking, and maybe at five different points randomly throughout, I have little check-in or quiz questions. I think that's a really cool idea. And then for redefinition, students can research a topic, interview multiple people relevant to their topic, and produce a podcast episode that can be listened to around the world and even monetized if they chose to go that route. I think it really does take really any form of like oral presentation to just like a new level. Obviously there's other technologies that can do this, but like b before they existed, just an oral presentation versus what you can do here with interviewing people outside of the school, inside the community, ep- having people from other schools, other towns, maybe even other countries listen. It's very it works its way nicely through the SAMR cycle. I will say that it hits all the necessary points. So yeah, that is my review of Spotify for podcasters. Trying to see, let's see, profile page. So yeah, here like you can just it's you can write little notes, right? For Dr. Russell Jones. This was a course that I did last year, and then you can just like play the podcast. So yeah. All right. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for listening.